They go around early in the morning. I don't know what we did it a couple times. But they I got my take a left. You better than more change. I worked and then I halfway did. I couldn't. It's not that close. See what I'm saying? I can't hear what you're saying.
We got Mike.
Last month.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you all so much for being with us tonight. We will begin with, we'll open with an invocation, be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If y'all would please stand for our prayer and our pledge.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today here at the Municipal Court Building in Ashburn, Georgia. Thank you for safe traveling grace here and asking you for safe traveling grace back to our safe places. Lord, we ask you to help the mayor, the city attorney, as well as the councils make the best decision for the citizens of Ashburn, as well as the city of Ashburn. Lord, conduct this meeting in a graceful, peaceful way. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Hill, may we have roll call?
Councilman Burgess.
Present.
Councilman Jordan.
Present.
Councilman Pierce.
President,
Councilman Smith.
Present.
Councilman Rockwell.
Present.
Mayor Lumpkin.
Present. Please let let the minutes show that our, city attorney is also in attendance. I want to take this moment to introduce y'all to Mr. Gary Lamar, who is our new, legal counsel.
Thank you, madam.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to have you with us. Got to change the, agenda around just a little bit because, we, did not note that the first item on the agenda is the public hearing, for a rezoning, Mr. Misterio.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Have application CC 23-02, Ms. Angela Office. Doing a rezoning from residential 8,000 square feet to neighborhood commercial. She's on a strip of land that the city owned and purchased with the Downtown Development Authority for housing. There was one house put on there in probably the past 6 years. And we always talked about that when we purchased that, I was on the board at the time, that the top lot probably would go to commercial because it's right across from Gina's. And this office someone bought the first 2 lots. And it's with his intention that he's gonna try to turn that 2 lots into commercial and develop something. Second 2 lots, this office bought. Each lot is 100 by 150, so she's got 300 feet by 150 feet. She's got quite a large tract of land in the park zone. She wants to change it to neighborhood commercial, and she wants to use it for family reunions and wedding venues and rentals and that sort of thing. I explained to her that if she did that as commercial use, she would have to abide by all the commercial rules as far as a lot of paving and parks and so forth, every kind of secondary driveway. She submitted a plan. She, her first step was to have a rezoning hearing before she did anything. She had it surveyed, got a copy of the survey, a copy of the deed, posted a sign on the property approximately 3.5 weeks ago. Notified the surrounding neighbors, 2 of them. 2 of the neighbors is the city of Ashburn, to the south and across the street from the regional center. They went before a planning commission. Got a copy of the minutes of the planning commission. Everyone should have a copy of that and a copy of the application. It was passed unanimously at no level, and then forward to city council for final determination.
Are there any questions or comments from the council regarding this rezoning? There are none.
Is she gonna, completely break or partial break structure on that building? Is she not?
I don't know what type of building it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be 40 feet by 70 feet long. And she has an interior design, sort of like, almost like a church. You walk in the bathroom on both sides, big long open room. And then stage with pedals along the room.
I do have one question. Is there gonna be adequate parking for any event that might be?
It'd be parking for what the ordinance calls for that size building. It's 1 space for every 70 square feet of building. She has to show handicap parking and regular parking.
Ms. Office, do you have anything to say?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, comments? Thank you, Mr. Misterio. At this time, we had a couple of speaker appearances requests, but I don't see either one of them here tonight. So moving on, we will, the first item on the agenda will be to vote on the rezoning for, the property on 449 Martin Luther King Drive from R8 residential to neighborhood commercial. May I have a motion?
I make the motion.
I have a motion. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda will be to approve the minutes from the April 6th, 2023 regular council meeting and the April 17th, 2023 called council meeting and the April 24th, 2023 called meeting. May I have a motion to approve these minutes? I have a motion. May I have a second?
Second.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Any opposed? Yes, sir.
I oppose because of all these on the veto.
Which meeting is that, Mr. Burgess?
24th of the call meeting.
That was the meeting that y'all called without not notifying me,
The clerk job to notify you, Miss Sandra.
Sir?
I said, that's the clerk job to notify you. Well, of the meeting. When two council make a call me, it's the clerk job to notify you.
So what is your reason for,
The veto, the veto.
and that is the reason I vetoed the meeting, is that I was not notified.
And that's the reason I'm not, what's it called? We might need to have a discussion with the secretary.
All right, Mr. Burgess, recognizing your objection, I still, will call for a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting. May I have a motion? I have a motion. May I have a second? Motion dies. Thank you. Are we approving the other minutes, Mr. Burgess? Besides that one, is that the only one you're opposed to?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So may I have a motion to approve the minutes of the April 6th and the April 17th called council meeting?
All right, baby. I knew it, I got mine. I'm sorry.
He said he's objected to all of them.
So you object to the regular call council,
No, ma'am.
regular council meeting of April the 6th?
Not a regular call meeting.
Okay. The call meeting.
I meant the regular meeting, I'm not objecting to.
But you do not wish to approve the April 17th called meeting or the April 24th called meeting?
The one that you vetoed, I think that was the 24th.
The April 24th meeting. I think I have a motion to approve the April 6th, 2023 regular meeting and the April 17th, 2023 called meeting. May I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. The next item, or the first item on our agenda, still don't see the speakers for who requested, so. We will move on to the solid waste contract. I'm gonna turn this over to, and forgive me, I meant to introduce everybody to Mr. Lamar, who is our legal counsel as of now. Thank you and welcome. We're glad to have you with us. Yes, sir.
I prepared what should be in your packet, a draft contract for Golden Environmental to take over for our solid waste, yard trimming collection services. I don't know if you received an amendment. We did, I spoke with Mr. Golden recently, and he said the bid proposal also included a mandatory requirement for yard trimming. In my initial draft, it was optional. So it lays out several different ways that the city can terminate the contract, as well as the ways that if there's going to be a price increase for notification. If there are any questions, I'll entertain questions. Right.
All of y'all did receive a copy of that proposed contract. Am I not correct? Yes, everyone had a chance to look over it. Any comments, questions? Mr. Golden?
Yes, Mayor. Thank you. Mr. Lamar, I have spoken, and we tweaked this, and I sent it back to him, kind of what we have agreed to, as to the bid package. We did add one thing, the mayor, Ms. Pierce, had in there for handicap or hardship cases. It was put in there. There was a change where, the city, where I was gonna do the billing, and, under the circumstances, y'all really do the billing under, utility department, and then remit those, funds to us for regulation. So everything else is pretty much right there where, what we've discussed. The yard trash was, he had that kind of separated out, where we had all that together. So it's all together. Potty carts and the yard trash pickup.
What about the cans that you talked about, the dumpsters over at the landfill? The 3 to 4?
That's that roll off.
Yes, sir.
So, I
That's
guess.
not in the contract.
No,
That's just, you know,
that's.
that's what I want to make sure.
Right, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, that's not. Only those, the commercial dumpsters.
Right.
Well, we have started this week under that same, pickup schedule as what you had GFL. So, we mirrored that and had pretty good luck with that. We did get a request today for, just got destroyed or whatever, replacement, and a few folks moving around. We won't be able to put brand new cans here till about a month to get them manufactured, and we can get them placed out and get to our new schedule of 2 days a week instead of 4 days a week. So it will be a month, before that we can put those out, just to get it. I've got enough cans, but the manufacturer, you hadn't seen any of them, they were a green can, but when they put it out in the sun, they turn blue. So the manufacturer is gonna get all of them and replace them. So who said whatever, I'm agreeing with them, they'll come get them, brand new things, but I'll do it.
The only thing that came to my mind earlier was white goods.
Yes, that is in there, that was in the bid package. And basically that was bulky waste. We added that word in there, Mr. Lamar, bulky waste as to sofas, mattresses, and it is, I have to pick up that page, but we did add that.
Well, I guess I misspoke. When I say white goods, I'm thinking about appliances.
Right, and then, but we probably could add that, that would be no problem, and that's customary on a lot of contracts.
Okay.
If you feel led to add the white goods as language, I'm good with it.
Is that gonna add to the cost?
No, no ma'am, that was in your bid package.
Okay.
So it, it was just fell under bulky waste, but if you wanna put white goods, appliances, parentheses, I have no problem.
I think what the mayor's trying to say on the metals, we used to like separate it and we take it to the scrap yard.
Okay, what,
Do y'all do that? What I think what she's trying to ask.
no, we collect, if it's on the street and a scrap guy hadn't picked it up before we got there, we're putting it in the trash. Okay, as the scrap price goes up, you know what happens.
Oh, yeah.
The scrappers will get you before we get there. Okay, so we're gonna clean that, we're gonna regard it as trash. Okay, and we'll make that addition, I have no problem with that. But when scrap falls to nothing, they're gonna sit out there, till the garbage can come gets it. That's, what dictates that. I'm good with that. Yeah.
All right. Any questions or comments about this contract?
Me, Mr. Golden, I ran into you guys in my neighborhood, and, I introduced them to the city of Ashburn.
Right.
They were real professional. I mean, they echoed just what you told us.
Right. Yeah, those guys that you found on that truck are been with me a long time. The driver's been with me 27 years, so.
Yeah, I talked to all three of them.
Yeah. So, this fits us to a T of what we do right here. So we're pretty good at it. We like doing it. So we're very proud to be a part of Ashburn. See that. Yeah.
We're very-
And if you got, one thing for me is the contact person, and me and Ms. Hill, talked about it today, where we're gonna communicate from, requests coming from her, or, who would communicate, with our office as to requests as, would it be Ms. Hill, or do I need Sam, or?
Well, I think as a rule, if there is a complaint, that they just go to our front office staff, file the complaint, and then we would pass it on.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yeah, but they go to the front, but let me see what it says she's utility.
Now, who is that?
Ms. Gaskins, Renisha Gaskins.
Okay.
I think she's supposed to come up from your office today.
Okay, Ms. Gaskins, okay, sure, so she would be the one, okay. All right, I didn't know how y'all,
Yeah.
sometimes our public works superintendent does it, as our point person, or,
She would do the write-up and the work order and then
Okay.
pass it on to you.
okay, all right, no work. I see.
Anything
Any other
else?
things work? All right, thank you.
If not, I will ask for a motion to approve the contract between the city of Ashburn and, Golden Environmental to handle our, garbage services. I have a motion, may I have a second?
Second.
I have a second, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you. The next item on the agenda is just a, kind of a routine thing with these, they're asking for a resolution with this, between the city of Ashburn agreeing to settle with Public Supermarkets Incorporated concerning the prescription opioid litigation, which you all are, familiar with. I think we've done this before, that what they are asking for is, a contact person for the city, and that we adopt this resolution. Any questions? If not, I will ask for a motion to adopt this resolution between the city of Ashburn, agreeing to settle with Public Supermarkets Incorporated concerning the prescription opioid litigation. I have a
Hey,
motion.
before we get a motion, We don't get no kind of paperwork of what it is and what it's about. I'm just totally lost with it.
It's, where the overall crisis, and they still are the people that took.
I understand that part.
We're getting, money back from the drugs, stores, corporations that put this stuff in. But if you wanna table it till you read over it.
I just hate voting on something I don't know nothing about and ain't seen it. It's just me.
The resolution, looking at the resolution,
It's in here. Look at the table. So I have to. Unless everybody was gonna go get it on. I mean,
Mayor, is there a deadline for sessions?
It just says it's in full force from the date of its adoption. They've left the date open.
you know, real.
This is just where
The Attorney General.
the settlements that these, we don't get much money from it. I think the most we got this past year was a couple of $500 or something like that. I don't know, I don't see an issue with agreeing to the resolution. But any settlements that are made with Publix and, Walgreens and, Walmart and all that, a small portion of it would come to the city of Ashburn.
Yeah, we got it.
So if you all want to.
Yeah.
I have a motion to approve the resolution.
I have a motion to approve. May I have a second?
I second.
May I have a second? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, the next item we need to discuss, as y'all know, we passed an ordinance, adopted an ordinance, for the sale of distilled spirits in the city of Ashburn. But at the time, we did not set up any kind of regulations or rules or any of that. This is something that we need to do. I'm sure that our city attorney can advise us as to what we need to do. Because this is very new.
Look, the city has great purview over how it wants to regulate distilled spirits, who can sell distilled spirits, and it's just up to the council to set up the framework for how we want to move forward. There's great leeway, but also great responsibility. And I'm here to answer questions on how the council wants to move forward. I believe we have a model ordinance that we can follow, but we can deviate and make the changes that we would like to make in order to make it more tailored to the city of Ashburn and how our citizens need to be served.
And when we're talking about distilled spirits, we're already selling, we approve beer and wine licenses to convenience stores and all of that. I think it's a little different with distilled spirits. I think it has to be a standalone business. It can't be like in a convenience store or anything like that. And I'm sure there are state regulations we're going to have to abide by, and then we can set some of our own as to like how many stores do you want to allow in the community and that sort of thing. I need guidance, and I guess we need to have our attorney get all the laws and regulations and all of that. There's no great hurry, but we do need to do it probably by our next council meeting, would be my suggestion. Any comments, questions on that?
state take also. So we
And just for information purposes, we're not gonna approve it.
Just, matter of information, and then our attorney will work this up with some ordinances and some, all of that.
When the package gets a sample model, and you just provide what you like, what you don't like, and we'll present a more tailored ordinance for the city of Ashburn, just basically with your vision of how we should use the facilities.
Is that agreeable with everyone?
Mayor.
Yes, sir.
With this, item agenda, number 10 about the steel spirit, are y'all just working on the regulations on it? For the city of Ashburn
Yes, sir.
to coincide with state regulation, or you just gonna stick whatever
Right.
the council think that the city of Ashburn needs?
I have a sample of, what the county has adopted, and I don't know if I gave y'all a copy of that. Yeah, so, and we'll just work around that. With regulations. Yes, ma'am.
With you're talking about the distilled spirits, I'm assuming obviously it's a liquor license, that you're going to be allowing the sale of alcohol in the city. Am I understanding that correctly, what you're proposing?
Package, just like a liquor store.
Right.
You know, we already allow beer and wine
Correct.
and that sort of thing. This would be just simply a package store selling distilled spirits.
Okay, with that being said, if that is something that goes forward, is it gonna be numbered to a certain number of licenses that would be permitted within the city?
I think that will be the council's decision, how many that stores they want to allow. I think, now Sycamore has adopted this, I think they're going to allow 2.
Okay.
But Sycamore, you know, is a very small community. I think the county's going to allow, 5.
How many y'all gonna allow?
So we can just, you know, take some guidance from what the other communities have done, but it's entirely up to the council.
Thank you.
Okay, I need to bring y'all's attention to the fact that our street sweeper has been out of commission for some time. I have a quote on the cost to repair it. And it's more than I can approve. It is $10,466. And I have, did I give y'all a copy of the, it's a long list of repairs. So we need to decide what we want to do about that.
Will it be more cost efficient to buy one? So repair?
No.
Yeah.
I like to table until after we get ordered. Now.
All right, that's fine. It's been out of commission for 2 months, so I guess we get by a little while longer. Thank you. Next item, I would love to get the splash pad reopened this summer. It's gonna require some work. I think we need to move all of that wooden equipment out of there because it's rotting. And, if y'all want to, take a look over there, we might need to just replace that wooden furniture with some PVC or metal, part furniture, but I would love to get it opened by the 1st of June.
And I know the ship needs to be.
Gone.
Yeah, all of that wooden stuff
Environmental friendly.
has got to go because it's splintering and it's dangerous. But as far as the working parts, I've talked with Adam about it, he said everything, the pipe, you know, the piping and everything is good to go. So, I guess I just need to get a cost on how much it's gonna, I think the city crew could move all the stuff out, don't
Yeah.
y'all agree?
Yes.
And then it wouldn't cost us
Not
anything,
nothing.
and then we'll just try to bring in some safe park benches and stuff like that, try to get it open by June.
Get it up.
Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. The next item on the agenda is an extension for B's Southern Kitchen. We gave Mr. Burgess a 60-day time frame to get all the repairs and all the work and everything done. He's not ready yet. Discussion?
I think on what he's trying to do is really the city's fault. He trying to, well, it ain't, and it is. He trying to get a sports bar in Green.
Right, that's my understanding.
And with a restaurant, you gotta have all these big fans, all these big kitchen and everything.
Right.
And we got another guy that wanna put a sports bar here also, downtown. Nico, what's his name? I don't know his name, but he wanted to get a sports bar
So
also.
is that gonna require a different set of regulations from what
Yes.
we have now?
Sports bar is gonna be completely different from the restaurant.
Okay,
Yes. And then you don't have to have all that equipment, all that stuff
Okay.
and all that.
okay. So we need to have, Mr. Lamar just draw up a set of regulations and by the state law.
They're gonna make it a sports bar now?
That's my understanding.
I have it.
Okay,
We got it right there. Got a copy if everybody want one.
So our, if you don't mind, our city charter allows for a bar or a sports bar if that's so. The problem is the liquor by the drink. The city of Ashburn right now only offers liquor by the drink to restaurants. That's the problem. Because we can do a bar, where we've got clubs with alcohol, beer, and wine. There's nothing in there, because we were a dry county, so we only offered liquor by the drink to a restaurant. That's the problem, is what we're running into. That's what needs to be reworded. If we're gonna be a wet county now, there may be something that can be reworded in our charter to where it's not just a restaurant that can do a liquor by the drink.
That'd be a simple amendment to.
Right, that'd be very simple
Yeah, that's.
and easy,
okay.
just a minute.
And what is this? Is this a sample? Is this a sample of?
Yes, ma'am, that come from, that's Sylvester,
Okay,
Sports Bar and Grill. And actually, back then, Mr. Colton had, put it in effect.
okay, thank you. Oh, okay, the next item, Councilmember Smith has requested, a discussion of acknowledging, deceased citizens at our council meetings.
That's correct. Well, I speak.
Is that what she wants to speak on? Well, we'll discuss these items first. Thank you.
I just wanted to see how you guys felt about, incorporating the deceased within our meetings. I mean, I don't know if we send cards or anything, not. Any feedback?
And you just want to acknowledge.
Acknowledge them.
As a council to
Right,
acknowledge.
moment silence.
I
I mean, it's not gonna be precise as far as the time of death, whatever,
Yes, sir.
but it's making forth our next meeting is June 1st. So anybody passing between then, we'll
Yes,
just
sir.
have this, so.
Absolutely, I agree.
So I need to make a motion.
I don't even know that we need a motion for that. I think everyone would be in agreement with that. Thank you. And And then you had some concerns addressing the January council meeting.
Yes, there's a motion, any motion, don't have to say it, right? Yes. No special privilege, right?
There is a motion, it must be a second, there is no second.
Mr. Attorney, would you cut your mic on, please?
Every motion has to have a second. Without a second, then the motion dies.
Okay, was anyone in the audience here in January, when we went down, and when it was abruptly ended? You guys have a comment?
Somebody who's at the court, I mean,
Right, City Hall?
okay, what you ask?
Was anyone in the audience there?
Quite a few.
Can I see a show of hands? Was there? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, first of all, as a council, I want to apologize for how things ran and how it was abruptly ended, right? So, a lot of citizens have came to me still disgruntled about the way it was ran. You know, they're saying, as a council, it's a mockery, clown show, we're weak, divided, and, just a whole mess, so. And I noticed in the minutes I read from January that, Ms. Pierce, she motioned to adjourn the meeting, right?
Yes, I did.
But it was in a second, so it should have died, right? Okay, the mayor proceeded to, end the meeting. And I think Mr. Burgess, Mr. Jordan, right, they didn't want to end the meeting. So, for me as a councilman, that's problematic if we gonna be looked over as a whole. First of all, the motion, it should have died. And then the two councils looked over. That's problematic. So if that's the case, we might as well run an emergency form of government or dictatorship or anarchy, right? We as the councils, like the board of directors, are trustees of a multi-million-dollar company. So that would never happen again, especially on here. So I just want to challenge us to, change the narrative and gain confidence back from the community that we're not weak, we're strong, we're not divided, we're unity. And it's not a mockery, clown show that we have decorum. Of course, we're not going to agree on everything, but we can disagree respectfully. So I just want to challenge my colleagues on that. So, any feedback on that?
So, Mr. Smith, with all due respect, you're willing to entertain a meeting that's out of hand with a bunch of screaming and hollering and no one can hear each other?
Thank you. That's my second part of the how it's ran. So, I say let's incorporate things. I'm gonna challenge my colleagues to dive into the charter. Let's incorporate things that don't have order, because at the end of the day, we could conduct business, right? No business were conducted that day because I guess people will run off emotions and shut me down. So let's utilize chief purpose in the right way for our meetings go. Let's incorporate warnings, 1 or 2 or 3 warnings, whatever we agree on. If people get out of order, they first warning, second warning. If they still being interrupted, remove them for the meeting. And that's not only for the citizens, but that's for the council as well. Are you guys familiar with the point of order? That's pretty much the highest privilege motion within parliamentary procedure. That's basically, I point out my technicalities. Someone say point of order, everybody should cease talking. And I point out my technicalities and then we go from there. Okay, a point of information. It's basically like a quick inquiry. I just want to have order.
If, I just let me make this one statement. That meeting was so out of hand that I was following the city attorney's advice to shut the meeting down.
But I'm saying,
That's
if we had these things in place, we still can conduct business. But we don't follow, we just all over the place.
Everybody was talking, there was no order.
That's why I'm saying we should have order now going forward. I know we can't change the past, So you don't think having somebody disrupt, we get them one. Second one, they be removed, instead of shutting down the whole meeting. Let Mr. Purvis escort them out. We still have to conduct business.
I can provide everybody a copy of an ordinance, it's generally called Robert's Rule of Procedure. It doesn't necessarily have to be adopted, but it'll give guidance on how we can conduct meetings where people don't talk over each other, and it doesn't get chaotic. And that may address some of the issues that I'm hearing the councilman.
Right.
And that way they don't get into that situation again.
But still, the attorney can't tell
Right.
no one a lie just because the meeting ain't going his or her way. I'm talking about council, mayor, now. You can't adjourn a meeting without a second motion. And ain't no attorney in his right mind should tell no one to dismiss no meeting and you haven't got a second motion.
Well, what we're saying, just moving forward, we'll try to prevent that from happening again where we're in that situation where everybody, we don't know how to proceed. We'll try to move forward.
Right, and I got that. And what y'all may think, Johnny Burgess got a loud mouth and everybody just know it. And I ain't ashamed of it, because I'm a fight for the people. And I'm a people person, but I got a loud mouth. And when something goes wrong with me, I'm gonna fight for what's right. And ain't nobody gonna silence me, not even Curtis, when I'm fighting for what's right. Because the attorney was dead wrong. But I got what you're saying, Mr. Smith, you're dead right.
Yeah, but
I understand.
you gotta be ordered though, man. You know?
Right.
Well, it's my hope that situation never arises again. But if it does, I will act accordingly, because that meeting was totally out of control. Nobody was going to calm down, nobody was going to listen to what anybody else had to say. I followed my attorney's advice, and that's all I have to say about it.
I mean, they all been fussing the Senate, the House. I mean, this politics. Do what you signed up for. It's politics. For everybody that didn't know that, it's politics.
Mayor Lumpkin, if I may, me being a former council and sitting where you guys sit, not exactly in those seats, but at City Hall, we never had to experience that. And me being a witness to that, it was somewhat embarrassing by me just coming out the council and having new council members. But I understand where everybody's going. You know, you ended the meeting, and I understand why you ended the meeting. It got out of hand. But what they're saying is there was no order, and you ended the meeting because you didn't get a second, nobody voted on it, you ended because it had got out of hand. Okay, you get that. But from sitting in the audience looking, no business got taken care of. I feel like Councilman Smith, whoever should have been removed. And the meeting calmed down, the police calmed down everything, and get back to business, because we come out every month to hear business, not to hear the council go back and forth at each other. Sometimes that is the case. When I was on the council, we did all hours in the executive session, where nobody heard us. You know, we disagreed, but when we came out, we was a whole council. So that wasn't the best look for the city at the time. But I pray going forward, that will never happen again. And I advise you guys to get into the Robert Rules of Order call. That is the guideline in politics, to handle any local government meeting. If you go by, you can't go wrong. Accountability keeps everybody honest, all the way across the board, from the mayor to the council, from the council to the lawyer, from the lawyer to the clerk. Everybody stays honest. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it. There being no further business in regular session, at this time, I'm going to ask for a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel.
Ms. Granite, please,
with the state. Personnel related issues with the state.
Litigation.
Yeah, and that's personnel issues.
It's gonna be personnel.
Hey, Madam Mayor,
Miss Gray is
Ms.
here.
Gray.
Miss Gray is here. Come on up, Miss Gray.
Last time I was here.
Come on.
Ms. Betty, you do know that you're limited to 5 minutes.
Sure, I do, okay.
The young man gets 5 minutes.
I said, sure I do. You already taken up my minutes time. The last time I was here, you said nobody in the city cut off the client's gas in the other village. You told me to bring proof. So here it is, where y'all cut Dante Daddy's gas off in the other village. You told me to bring the receipt, and I did.
What is it?
Well, I was at the other meeting, and I was telling you that y'all cut some gas off in the other village of a sick person that was on dialysis, and you said it didn't happen. And you told me to bring the receipt to show you the proof. So I brought you the receipt.
Ms. Granite, the council has nothing to do with
The council
that.
didn't say it, you
Are
said
you
it.
talking about your water bill?
No, I said gas. I told you that the city cut off a young man's gas because he was ill and on dialysis. And you said it didn't happen, and I told you it did. And you told me to bring you proof of receipt. And this is it, where you see the cut off his gas, and he's on dialysis. Yes, ma'am, you said it. Oh, she knows.
No, what do you want me to do?
I don't know what you're gonna do. You just told me to bring the receipt to show you proof. And I brought you the receipt like you asked me to show you proof that the city did cut off his gas, and he was on dialysis. And you told me honestly that it didn't happen. And if it happened, to bring you proof and a receipt. So, Mayor, here it is. And then another thing I want to talk to you about is I want to know why some of the city workers got a $1,500 bonus. And we haven't had an audit in 2 years. But we already crying that the city don't have no money. So where do you get the money to give an employee
We can't
$1,500?
discuss that in an open meeting.
This is an open meeting, right? But where do I discuss it at? This is what we start. The council meeting. You say I can't discuss the water bill. So now I'm discussing something with you that concerns you. How did this see?
The only thing I can tell you is that I had no knowledge of what that happened.
So you mean you're the head,
No.
you're the head of everything go on in the office at the city hall, and you don't have any knowledge of
I
any
had
of
no
this?
knowledge, no ma'am, because that was the city manager's action
Well, then what,
and
what's your
decision.
job? What's your job? I mean, what do you control in the city office? What do you look at in the city
I'm
office?
not gonna discuss this with
Well, why
you.
don't we discuss it
If you
It's your
come
house.
to me in my office
I
and
don't
we will
wanna come
discuss
to you
it.
in your office, I wanna come to you in the public.
Thank you.
Now, you can tell me
Thank
anything
you,
in your
Ms.
office.
Gray. That's enough.
Oh, my 5 minutes up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I see you next month, the same thing, have a good day. Until I get an answer, I'll be back.
Ms.
Thank you.
Gray, Ms. Gray, the $1,500, that was an administration decision, but we have ARPA funds that we was granted to help with those type of bonuses. That's why that was went, but
Okay, but then can you tell me how just a certain amount of people got the $1,500 bonus and the rest of it didn't get anything? Don't you think that was a little off, that you chose some people and didn't choose the rest of them?
my opinion, it
Huh?
is, but
I mean, if I'm working on a job and you three get a bonus and we all doing the same thing, don't you think I feel bad? Cause y'all got $1,500 and I didn't get anything?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then how y'all decide this little simple $1,500 to get it right?
That's right. Again, we don't do our day-to-day operation of administration, so we don't handle day-to-day operations, we do the bonus. But we do give everybody summer bonus and a Christmas bonus.
Okay, so when you go to get that $1,500 bonus,
We're working on that this summer.
okay, well then let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't, I will be back.
Yes,
We're
ma'am.
not there. As far as I know, the council.
I mess up, I got to mess up.
I have a question, please.
Yes, ma'am.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
The gentleman that you're speaking of on the dialysis meal, his gas was shut off?
Yes, his gas was shut off. Here's the receipt right here.
No, I just, please, I'm trying to understand, was his gas shut off for non-payment? Is that why they shut it off?
His gas was shut off for non-payment. There's a receipt, I don't know where it should.
Oh, but they didn't shut his gas off because, I just wanna make sure I'm understanding correctly. He didn't pay the bill because I'm assuming of a medical condition, so they shut the gas
He
off.
paid on his bill, but he didn't pay the full amount. So they went and cut his gas off. His sister went and paid on his bill, and then they cut his gas back on. She didn't pay the full amount either, but she paid on his bill, and they cut his gas, but after they cut his gas off, she paid on the bill, and they cut it back on. So why cut it off when y'all had people pay on it?
I'm just trying to understand what happened. And with the dialysis and the gas, I was a little confused about that
So
part.
he's a dialysis patient.
Okay, but that wouldn't have anything to do with gas, would it?
No, it wouldn't have anything to do with gas, but I'm just saying, everybody behind on their bills. This is what I'm saying, everybody behind on their bill, their gas bill, including me. But why would you cut off a real person that's on dialysis? Why would you cut off his gas?
I think maybe because they weren't like with the electric companies, when you have oxygen equipment and things like that, if you notify them, they put you on like a special list so that there's regard to get out there quicker or things along those lines. Is maybe he not on that list or?
I don't know what it is, what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Madam Mayor, Mr. Lamar, is there any bindings to the city with what Ms. Brad is, referencing to, or as, I think what she's saying, the young man couldn't pay his bill because he was on dialysis, or whatever the case may be, and the city turned his gas off. He paid on it, got it back on, still didn't pay the full amount. Does the city, I mean, what does the city obligate to?
I understand the situation. It looks like there needs to be some type of hardship protocol that the city doesn't have in place, maybe where I believe the young lady just mentioned that the city has to know that there's a special issue going on, or else the city has to run accordingly. If there's non-payment, the city has to take certain actions, or else there will be no money for the city. So we will work to see if we can create some type of hardship program where the city is notified when there's specific issues at hand. If there is not, then we can't move forward.
And I think what Mary, I understand where she's coming from, being, the administrator for the council. You know, if the council don't know there's an issue,
Yeah,
you know, they just turn it off and non-payment.
right.
They're not knowing, turning it off just to hurt anybody.
Right, that was my point. I don't think there was intentional harm by any means.
Just, I'm gonna make one statement regarding this. For 21 months, we did not cut anybody off for non-payment because of the confusion and the bills that weren't being printed and the charges that weren't being made correct. We didn't cut, am I correct, Miss Amanda? We cut nobody off for 21 months. We have $300,000 on the books that have got to be collected. And that is all I'm gonna say. We cut nobody off until March or April. of this year. We cut nobody off.
That's correct.
May I say something?
Y'all, I'm sorry, we've got to go into executive session, we have got to close out this meeting. We can beat this to death, but we're not gonna do it tonight.
I do have an important question, I think. What does he need to do to be able to get on this protocol that you all discussed?
We don't have anything set up now, but what was said was that the city did not know that there was a specific issue with that gentleman.
Right.
And if the city doesn't know there's a specific issue, the city can't protect that person. And right now, we're just now being notified that there are specific issues that the council will have to get together and see what they can do to prevent that from happening again, if there can be something. But at this time, it's preliminary, we're just learning about the issue. We have to give the council time to digest the issue and make appropriate changes, if changes can be made.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't guess you understood my question. My question is, now that we know this, is there something he needs to do to let you all be made aware? Because his sister, when she paid the bill, paid something on the bill, she let them know his situation. But they just still had her to set up a payment plan where she's paying his bill for him.
Yeah, I understand that, but that's something the council still has to get together as a body and figure out what they can do if anything can be done.
This board, have him and his sister, speak with, Lisa in the morning.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Stevens, you were supposed to be here at the beginning of our meeting, and we are through with our meeting. I can give you 5 minutes. To say whatever you need to say.
Okay. First of all, I believe you. I spoke to you about this matter, but the city trying to charge me $273 for some gas that I know I don't owe for. And I brought this to your attention. You said you were looking into it, but you never got back to me.
Yes, sir, you talked with Miss Nicole. I had her call.
Miss Nicole, she never called me because she the one that started it.
No, sir, I think I saw you in her office.
I did, and then I came back because she didn't solve it. I came to you with the same $273. You said you didn't have nothing to do with that over there, but you would look into it.
That's correct.
So evidently you didn't look into it.
I did. I turned it over.
But I just ask this to the council members for their understanding what I'm doing. Okay? Start down here. He said I got 3 loads of bed. 1 over. And she charged me $181, saying that I got $100 and I didn't get it. She charged me 8%, which I didn't get that. Another one she said I didn't pay for. It's hard to do something. And all the way out and pass it down to me.
Steve, I'll be off tomorrow. Can you make sure see all that team? Yes, sir. I punch you with that. I'll be able to stay.
You see right now, I got 3 loads of gas. And I was the other day.
I'll be able to make sure you can get that taken care of.
Okay. I want mine $229 back. That you owe me, because number one, I didn't owe for $60 from you, which you charged us $181. Look, I got $40 credit with the he told me, he said he put it on the bill, so he closed the bill, I said, I'm a mortgage on you. Okay? I don't want your credit, I want my check. Okay, thank you.
I'll get it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, I am going to ask for a motion to go into executive session. May I have a motion? I have a motion, may I have a second?
Second.
I have a second, all in favor? Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen, we will go into executive session, there may or may not be a vote taken afterward, but you're welcome to hang